Hi guys, welcome to the Crown Experience. I am your co-host, Keisha Kelly.
And I'm your other co-host, Alita T.O.
And I'm your co-host, Saida. Can't take another recording. I am Melly. I'm a guy from trying to be a co-host.
Not at all. I loved it.
Thank you for joining us with our infamous table talks. Here we are going to discuss a few topics that the ladies have brought up, and we are going to enjoy all of this food that we spent cooking today. It looks very delicious, so let's get munching.
Oh, we can start eating?
Yes, we can start eating, finally. We can start eating and talking.
So what is our first topic for the day? Yeah, we've been talking about food.
Well, I mean, and food is delicious, and we should. I can't wait to get into the curry fish. Sorry.
Oh, is that topic? Curry?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, curry fried fish, and it's stuffed with
Crab.
I mean, crab meat has a little bit of curry, a little bit of jerk, a little bit of seafood.
So I like the play on brunch,
Flavors are.
but they are working together.
They are.
Our first topic is marry a man who wants to be a husband, not one who's looking for a wife.
Yes. Yes.
So what
My
is
brain
not
works
just
sometimes.
looking for a wife. He's not just looking for a wife.
exactly? You have to want to be a husband as well, right? So it makes sense. So you have to kind of break that down a little bit, because when it was first brought to me, I'm like, I didn't get it. But if you listen to the words, marry a man who is looking to be a husband, not just looking for a wife, because it's easy to find a wife.
Right.
She's going to cook, clean, take care of the home, always make sure you're taken care of. But if you're, well, but if she's a wife, if she's a true wife, she's a true wife, right?
That's something we need to break down,
Yeah,
too, on
because
some other
because
episodes.
that's not a wife. That's just a trophy
Well,
girl.
some of them like that too.
Yeah, well, true.
But I also think that it's whatever dynamic works for your marriage, though. So you gotta, because you said cook, clean, and I know
You know
some
what,
husbands
and
that
I'm just-
cook.
What I'm saying is, you take care of home, and it could be whatever.
Right, okay.
However,
Okay,
it works
right.
out.
Whatever
You're
works for
right.
your dynamic.
However,
Yeah.
the dynamic works, right? But what I was going with is, it has to be reciprocal, right? It has to be something that you're not expecting, right? And that you're not giving anything for it. Because
It goes along with the lines of, people want to be married and don't want to give up their single rights
Exactly.
and their single life.
exactly.
Because even for it depends on what people's expectation of a husband is. So some of these men don't even know how to be men. I say that humbly and respectfully.
Right.
To whose fault? Who cares? So it depends on, what people's expectation of, or what his knowledge of even being a husband is. Most girls are raised to be wives.
Yeah,
We're raised to be women.
True, and we
Men
don't
are not
necessarily.
raised to technically be
Right.
husbands. They're raised a little bit to be men.
I was watching this video, and these guys, they were talking about that same topic, where some men, it's cool, they grow up learning that it's cool to have a bunch of girlfriends, a
Yes.
bunch of
Yes.
friends, and all that. That's what makes them
And that starts off
manly.
early.
Yeah,
Mhm.
That starts off real early.
but what he said was, we need to normalize being the man of the house and having a wife and kids. Is what makes you married.
You know, and I was going to say, and I'm glad that you said that. It's one of the things in raising a son. My child has made me laugh about some things. When he was little, he used to say, he made up an imaginary family. He had a wife named Brenda and 5 kids.
Oh, Jesus.
He said he worked. He was like, I have 2 jobs and I have a wallet and a car. And for him, this is what a husband was. But he was like, he would get on the phone and play like he was talking to his wife. It would be funny. Brenda, you're not putting me on punishment, Brenda. Brenda, listen to me. And I'm like, and I'll be just like, first and foremost, I'm like, wait, I don't even talk to your dad that way. But it would just be funny, like he would mimic being in a marriage. And so we don't know what these kids really are watching. But, oftentimes I hear people say to little boys, oh, look, one day you're going to have all the ladies, and oh, you're such a ladies' man, and all the ladies this, and all the... And it starts when they're little.
Yes.
And
that's a trophy.
Right. And that makes me cringe, because I'm like, no, he's going to find that one woman. Why can't he just be with that woman that is his helpmate?
I have a totally different outlook on, of course, good. And I'm not here for it. So FYI. Because I think that society has changed a lot of the reality of actually what a husband is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because access to other women and so on and so forth, the infidelities is always the major thing, right? But do you guys remember a time when the men actually were just the providers? Do you guys remember? So if you have a husband that is actually in the army and you get to be a housewife, or you don't have to take care of bills and so on and so forth, exactly what is the expectation of a husband? So I think that a lot of society has changed it because we've become independent women.
Right.
And our tolerance and our expectations of men have now been, we want you to be home more. For me, the industry that I'm in, I see a lot of women that want all the glory, but they don't want the distance from the home. Well, how do you expect to still keep up with these expensive...
You know what? There's something but you said something, and I just had this conversation with was a young man. He was a young adult, so younger than us. But I talked about you like these women want this, but I had to say this about him. We're talking about feminism and things like that, and women's rights, things like that. And I said, you know what? But it looks different for women of color. It looks different for Black women because we've always had to work. Because if you didn't have a woman working in the home and the man working in the home, your family starved. We didn't have the luxury of being stay-at-home moms. Well, so that was not something that for our culture was a real thing. Your mom worked multiple jobs. Your mom, we didn't. So that's something. That's a construct that this generation has bought into. Mm-hmm. But the reality is, we never were afforded that for real. No, not within our community. You're right. Think about it.
No, you're right.
So we've always been, but we knew how to work and still let our men be men, and we were still women and wives. And it was that part. It was a balance. That part. It was a balance.
Because I find a lot of women to emasculate men
now, but based on,
and it's very much so. For me, it's an issue, and as dominant as I am, I guess, as independent as I am, a lot of females, I'm really misunderstood by females because by nature I want to be submissive. I want to be
me too. Yeah, absolutely.
So I have an issue when I say certain things and females are like, I would have never expected that from. Well, wait a minute.
Because they see your
right.
Right.
I don't believe it's all. Yes, I really don't. So I don't want to put too much of a burden on my man. I've already figured out how to focus on me and keep me comfortable and keep me not from being a headache.
Right.
I don't want to have to do the providing. It's funny they had this thing going around. I think Gaten had put something up.
What was it?
They were crazy. And he said, if your woman is doing what she's supposed to be doing, me, cook, clean, turn tricks. She gonna do that.
Rocking in the hands.
She gonna do that. Okay. Chandelier. Hello. How you? Okay.
Swinging from the curtain.
She downward dog for a reason. But more importantly, he's saying if your woman is doing what she's supposed to be doing.
But then, like I said, if that works it has to be a balance.
But it's why.
Because what happens in your home is in your home.
Mm-hmm.
That's your marital thing. So whatever's there, that's between you and your spouse.
Come together.
Right. That's it.
And
because a lot of men feel like the finances is what, nowadays they have to, if you're not making the money, you're not the man. No. When I cry for no reason, I need you to make me feel comfortable. Because I'm crying right now for no reason. Don't ask me why. I'm emotional. and this is what I'm going through. When I start losing it mentally, because females are emotional. And a lot of times guys neglect that part of it. You understand what I'm saying? You think I got too chunky? You need to motivate me. Get me up and walk. Let's walk.
You know
together.
what? And that's it. That's it right there. Like,
So
but,
do what a man is supposed to do. You lead, I follow.
but that's the husband.
Yes.
But you have to be worthy of me. Like, here's the thing. You got to be
That's
something
right.
that I can follow.
That's true.
You can't follow everything in
That's
anything.
true.
You know?
Well, there it is.
Well, there.
But and it goes back to what are you bringing in?
Right.
Do you have a husband?
Right. Or just someone looking for a
Or
wife.
just someone who was looking for a wife?
Right.
You were in my face at the time, and so you're going to be the one.
And that,
Yes.
now, hold on, that happens. Now that, you know,
that happens all the
all the
time.
time.
Men
Yes.
will marry whoever's in their face when they say, "I am ready."
Some of them. Not all, but a majority.
Wait a minute.
Look, a majority.
Wait a minute.
A majority.
Because let me take it back. Because a lot of these guys, when they're ready, if you're really not what he wants, he's gonna drop you real quick.
Yeah, but I did that.
And then
So I was a part of the role reversal. I married who
to
was,
you.
I married who was in my face.
and that's okay.
I'm listening to you
So
now.
what I'm saying
But
is,
because I think that's a,
for
you
the
know,
most
That's what a lot of
it's
men
a
do.
fear
I had a
for
lot
me.
of.
and I think a lot of women are starting to act like men.
You
in
think?
ways.
Yeah.
No, I think. I mean, yes, it's happening. We know that. So what I'm saying is, like, even you saying that is, we're seeing it. We're doing it. You know?
Yeah. No,
But-
absolutely. I think I'm
And
ready to get
So
married.
how
and
do
I-
it
you
doesn't mean-
avoid that?
But it
as a
doesn't
woman?
mean-
How do you not be the person in the face at the time? Because when a man's
I
ready to
don't
get
think- I don't
married, he's
think
going to
that-
get married.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think that you can avoid that. What you can avoid is being in a relationship that's not reciprocated or it's not what you want.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because when I say that a man's going to marry who's in his face when he says he's ready, that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It could very well be the woman that he needs to marry.
Right.
And be with.
It could be.
It could very well work out for them. But all I'm saying is when he's decided in his brain that he's ready to get married, it's whoever he's with. And if he's not with someone, he's going to find that next person or whatever, and that's who he's going to marry. But he's got to be ready.
You know, but I see it a lot. We see it a lot. They think they're ready though, but I see it more often. For me, I've observed where I feel like I see it where they think they're ready,
And that's okay.
and then they're not, and then they're miserable,
And
Well,
and then
that's
you're in my DM.
And I feel,
and it's a problem.
that's
Well,
true. What's the
but
next
it's a
one?
problem.
Well, wait,
Hold
what's
on.
the next
Because you're not
one?
having to go through this.
So even when people get married younger, like the things that I think have changed as far as when I was a child, because my mother says it all the time, even with my father, he wasn't ready, he got ready. And then he just kept up with being ready. And then they go through the phases,
Yeah.
but the loyalty has changed. You
True.
know, we have, people that are okay bowing out. These guys were doing all of that, but they were not leaving their household. They were not leaving their family. It's not that these problems are, the game hasn't changed,
You're right.
just the faces and the players.
You're right.
The game ain't changed.
No,
You're right.
Okay?
there's nothing new under
The
the sun.
game has not
There's
changed.
nothing new.
It's
Nothing at
just
all.
the players,
Yeah.
but the players have actually changed, and that's the problem. So, who's really ready? Because even for me, I think sometimes, really feel like being a wife.
You know, and it's well, being
But I want to be
married
married.
and divorced and then
I
single.
do want a husband.
No, but there's the thing. No,
Flip
you're right.
side.
No.
Flip side.
But it's like I think about
Who's
now
gonna
that
say
I
this?
like right, no, but I've gotten comfortable in my singleness.
And
I like it. No, I'm not trying to be too comfortable.
danger.
That is, and I have to be mindful of that. I would love to be married again. I'm not anti, marriage, but I have now taken this time where it's just like, I'm enjoying being with me right now, And in the past, when I was younger, I would have probably rushed into something. Now I'm actually okay pacing things and enjoying my singleness, because it is when you're a wife, you don't sometimes understand how exhausting it can be when you marry someone looking for a wife and not a husband. Because I married someone looking for a wife and he was not yet a husband. He had the potential to be, and he still has the potential to be a good husband, but he has some growth and development and things that he needs to go through.
And that is why now that you can be in your space and
Right.
know yourself, you can find a husband.
Right.
And not a man who's looking to have a wife.
Right.
Very important. I thought I wanted to be a wife. I'm glad that I had the time to keep focusing on me, because what I noticed is that I was not ready to be a wife. I still had so many issues within myself to deal with, and people don't want to take the discipline and practice abstinence and not deal with people. What's up? What's up?
That is real. But you just
Yeah,
people
because
just
I did, you know,
the absence, honey.
you know, went
But
almost
it-
on the decade street. Almost.
It's-
Thank you, man. Speak it.
And I think it
Yeah,
goes,
I told
husband
y'all 4
should be
years.
away.
It's a
I
wrap.
told y'all 4 years.
It's a wrap.
So
but I think it goes
It's a
back
wrap.
to the same thing.
4
We
years. So.
stated earlier, right? We have evolved, even as women. Now we do the same thing. Like it's that role reversal sort of thing. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So yes, you have to want to be a wife and be ready to be a wife and know what that means to you. You know, in order to be able to then be able to reciprocate, so that you're not emasculating your husband.
We have daughters. Are we raising them as wives?
Probably.
Because I put
Probably
a,
not.
Probably
I
not.
put a
And
lot
I
of
will put myself
energy.
into
You think
that.
I'm not raising them to be wives?
I'm not talking about you.
Oh, okay. Because I recently had this conversation with a couple of my other girlfriends that had daughters.
Mhm.
Okay? And it was very, very, very heartbreaking to me to see. I keep thinking, our era. Well, let me tell you something. Problem at the foundation. And I said to myself, okay, this is an issue. So I said it to my girlfriend. I said, damn, what you raising her today? You're not a wife. I feel like you got a little bit of bitterness going on with you. You're not raising your daughter to be a wife. See, I had to take my pain and my bitterness out of my situation and still raise my daughters to be wives. I asked my youngest daughter, well, if your husband did this and that, I would tell him, that's not what we do as wives. That's not going to keep it. And realistically, the ratio is 22 to 1. We are replaceable as women. Keep it how you're supposed to keep it, and then that stuff doesn't get to be an issue. So for my next relationship, I'm not worried about whether he's ready to be a husband or not. He's not going to short me in no way, shape, or form because I already know what I'm not going to accept. So I don't really care about anything else. For the most part.
Because I'm like, you're going to have to.
No. But for the most part, because a lot of people think it's not work. It's like a business. It's like anything else. You know, people go into these relationships and they expect it to, but you have to put work into it. So for me, I've been working on acceptance more than expectation. Because once you accept a certain thing, for me, I just have to know what I'm going to accept and what I'm not going to accept. Everything else has to be clean.
I got married. I'll take a step back.
To a man that wanted to be a husband.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
He was ready.
And that's it. He was
To a man
ready
that
to
wanted to be a husband.
That is true.
Definitely ready.
That is very
Because
true.
we dated men that wanted a wife.
SpongeBob
No.
ready.
We dated men or tried to date men who told us they couldn't date us because we were wives.
You know what? And that's
now
that's true. That
Now
happened.
you ain't
No.
never lied.
That happened to us on a couple of occasions. And I'll be like, what does
we
that?
were wives and not girls.
They're like, yes. And I mean, that happened as early in college.
Yes.
Respect the man that said it because what he did not do was play games. I respect it.
No, and I get
I
it.
respect
But you know what? When you're not,
You're not
ready.
ready. You're not.
yes,
You're not.
it feels like a rejection
Sounds like a
when you're in
lot
your
of
early
rejection.
20s. Think about it. That was a rejection.
Well,
In a sense,
like a
you know,
rejection. But where I was
He wasn't ready to not be a hub.
No.
So-
This was but like guys would just say it to us. We were dating, and you go,
What does that mean?
what does it mean?
And
But
then
at the
said
time, you weren't ready to be a wife, right? But that's the thing too. So how you perceive it, it was like, but I wasn't ready to be a wife. What do you mean? It's okay,
I've
but
always admired.
that has gotten me in situations that I had to dig myself out of then too. Because sometimes it is okay to be a little bit more patient, you know, with people, just a little bit. I'm not talking about 10 years, but I might, needed to go a few more months, or maybe another year. And so I'm working on that because I feel like God had to slow me down, with my ex-husband, like God had to slow me down. He had to be like, when things started happening in our marriage, that was causing a discord, God led me to stand. But that was a God stand because Alita was like, listen, I'm ready to pack my bags. You know me, God. But if you are calling me to stand, and, it came in different ways through various people, through various revelations, through various things. But it took all of that for me to stay. And I did, and I grew in that. So I get what you're saying when I say you will grow. You know, I learned a lot about me. I learned a lot about my faith, and I grew as a woman. But it was God had to get me there. So now I'm not as quick to put on my running shoes, and I had to apologize to someone I did that to, where I gaslighted them, and so I had to apologize, and I did. And they were like, "So are you still running?" I was like, "Only if I feel like I need to strap on those running shoes. They are still in the corner, like they're still there. However, I'm not as fast to put them on." That
For me, I have always approached relationships with 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And your behavior is going to let me know which avenue I'm going to take. Sometimes I try to stay with the 1 foot in just to give
I
you.
don't believe you.
she does. No, Keisha does. Keisha more than me. More than me.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
With
I'm just being honest.
having straddling the fence, right?
Yeah.
With the 1 foot in and the 1 foot out, right?
Yeah.
Can you give your
All.
No.
So if you can't give your all,
You have to earn it.
and I get that. I'm not taking that away. But what I'm saying is, at some point, or what I'm saying is, like when you're playing hopscotch, at some point you're either going to lose balance, but you got to tip one way or the other, and it's hard to do that when you're like this. You know, so I guess the question I have is, do you think that because you're 1 foot in and 1 foot out versus I'm going to try you with both feet in, I'm still going to be wary, I'm still going to take my time with you, right? But to give you the benefit of the doubt, that if you're like 1 foot in and 1 foot out, it's like any little thing, you're out.
I'm gonna piggyback, because how do you even know how much energy
you put into
because
it?
you're cheating. You're not even putting all of yours into. So objectively, how do you look at that situation and say, well, he's not giving his all, because you already halfway out any damn way? How do you know?
That was a good term
I'm
you just said, because that is a form.
I'm just piggybacking.
That's what I'm asking.
Wow. Because she just said, like, the fact that you're cheating.
I am unfaithful.
I didn't think
Wow.
I'm sorry, honey.
But that's what
I
I'm
am
saying.
unfaithful.
Like,
Wow.
Oh,
But
she doesn't care. For
No,
y'all
she
that
does
don't,
care.
no, Keisha,
No.
she doesn't care.
No.
This is her
Keisha-
ID.
Keisha definitely cares, because Keisha stays longer than me. So Keisha cares.
No. That means Keisha has more patience. That does not mean that Keisha cares more.
I am patient. Because love is patient, love is kind.
Love is kind. Love is not patient with you. You don't get to just grab for the definition.
but I
that
just
you
feel
want.
that if you don't, if you're still 1 foot out,
because I have trust issues.
and I get it, and I think that's what I'm trying to get at. Like,
Right, but that's
if
the
you're
root.
already 1 foot out, then you can't expect them to be all in.
Because they pick up on that energy.
Because it's
They
all
pick up
about
on that energy.
right?
Especially if you
You
threaten them.
pushing them away subconsciously. You don't
like
even know it.
like that foot out is
I
like
got
that push is like
these lovely prayer beads to work on myself.
We gonna need a little bit more than them prayer beads.
But let me say, but she said to work on herself, and that goes back to what Nelly was saying. You know, but when you leave, you could leave a situation and clean out things. But until you try to clean out your heart,
and I'll tell you, I think that was a part of the problem when with me and my husband. Right, he was ready to be a husband. I thought I was ready to be a wife, but I still had some hang-ups within myself. You know, like
I think
I might have some still, but not the ones that would like get me to running. Yeah, I mean, I don't run as fast as she does, but
If you guys haven't noticed, I've killed about 3 of these, and we have torn into the fish, pasta, the eggs is about done, shrimp and grits is about done. So this bucket, yes,
well, it won't be dessert today.
we have grilled pound cake.
Where is it?
Fruit and chips.
it's a 5-flavor pound cake too.
It is. It's
from a pound cakery.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap up after we have dessert. Okay, and we're gonna thank y'all for being here with us in spirit. Sucks to be you that you didn't get to enjoy all this lovely food.
And lovely it was.
But you can find our recipes online for some of these dishes. And look out for a future cookbook.
And then if you are a business owner, vendor, somebody that does service, and you're in the Atlanta metropolitan area, and around the time when we're filming one of these, hit us up. You can come by and have a chat with us at the table. Make some new friends.
Come join our table. And you know, our product of the week is one of my new favorite lipsticks. It is a matte lipstick, and the company is called Lashing Out Glam. And I love her matte lipstick. It doesn't come off. The colors are really pretty. And I know she's in the Atlanta metro area. Thank you for holding that up. But lashingoutglam.com is the website. Great product, stays on all day, beautiful colors.
Yeah, it doesn't come off on your glass even when you go like
beautiful. So she is our featured person. And of course we all have some Karen Jai products. Our picture is back on the table. So
they got
you know,
wine. No, it got water in it today.
just water, not wine like last week. So definitely check out both of those women that are out there doing their thing, these entrepreneurs, and give them a try.
So, okay, well, I was going to say we're going to say goodbye after dessert, but we're going to say goodbye before dessert, and we'll post pictures.
Yes, we'll have pictures of dessert. Bye, guys. Until next episode. See ya.